I just realized I was muted. What I said was I have 50 nuggets coming from Wendy's right now. Delivery. Also, hi, there's a Jonii here. It's not picking you up. Oh no. Hi, but there's a Xander. Hi, love.
Hi. I was coming to bring you a drink.
Ooh, tea. Today has been fucking wild. Like to say, yeah, to say the least. I mean, God, just first off, uh, let me set so it picks Jonii up. Jonnie's coming through my main speakers just in case Xander wants to pop in or whatnot. Say something.
Johnny
Say
coming
something,
through
fam.
the main speaker. Hello, it's me. I am John O'Thanos, destroyer of realms and friend to plants and animals, according to the 10 Things video.
Hello, hello. Hi, Skylar. I'm gonna go ahead and I might add a small amplifier to your thing
Okay,
because
that sounds good.
yeah, just yeah, edit filters, add filter, gain, and like add like I don't know 3. Yeah, say something now.
Something now. Hello, hello.
Yeah, I'll make that like a
4.
4.4. I'm feeling spicy.
Ooh, that's a good number. I like that one.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
good. So yeah, hi. So God, today. So for those on note, first off, yes, we still have a moving fund. We were looking at a. Should we just say house?
Apartment.
A place. And stream donations if y'all feel so inclined. Dude. For that, we have one more Pokemon Live related thing out tomorrow for listeners of the Speedrun podcast. But first off, if you haven't seen the 68-minute long documentary on Pokemon Live, there's that right there. And if you don't want a linky boy like that, then you can just find that and a full fan restored version of the show and a link to Johnny's video as well and a very high res picture of Jigglypuff with legs right
oh, let's
here
go.
on this article from Kotaku on our documentary.
Holy fuck. That still doesn't feel real when you say it.
I honestly
So
can't.
weird.
It's so weird. I want to say it makes it feel real. Like obviously the documentary's real. It was like our pandemic project. It was me finally putting that writing and film degree to some sort of use.
Yeah, I think the way I put it before we started stream was it's like like I think everything Jamie and I do on our own is already like legitimate, and I thought the doc was of very high quality for both of us. But it's like you get a business card. The Kotaku article is you've laminated that business card. It feels more official now somehow.
Absolutely. For those who would like to listen to the speedrun episode when it drops tomorrow, by the way, here is a link to that. I think that's the last link I'm going to drop for now. I mean, I guess I should link to your channel as well, shouldn't I?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Do you want
There's
me
a
to link
there's a
to your channel
companion.
or just the video?
Feel free to just link the video. I think if you clicky on the video, you'll find me and all of my other monkey ball related shenanigans there.
Yeah, this entire
Anymore. It's real life action.
oh,
This is real life.
this is real life. Did you know this is real life?
As an
Is it just fantasy?
Did you know that if you die in Pokemon Live, you die in real life?
Yeah, one night that was a fact we left out of the videos. One night, Mecha Mewtwo exploded and Giovanni just didn't come back.
Actually, the funny thing is, Mecha Mewtwo did explode at one point.
That you know that that is something that I don't think we draw. Well, I guess there wasn't an appropriate place to draw emphasis to it, but like the musical ends in a truly dark way.
Like Mecha Mewtwo learns the power of friendship and then kills itself.
Yeah, it decides that's the
No,
only way
Giovanni
for
wants
everyone else to be happy. Giovanni. I think he tries to kill Giovanni. I don't know if it
He like hugs him
works.
and shit.
Yeah, he's like, you're not getting away. It's very, very strange.
I would have gone away with it too, Ashy boy, if it weren't for you and your meddling friends. Oh
um,
god.
could
It's
you this is just from my end. Could you screen share your browser so I can get the doc without delay? Because
Of
if I
course.
watch your Twitch stream, it's just a
let
tad
me
delayed.
screen
Thank you.
share right here. I like how it's like screen share the Twitch window. I'm like, no, that defeats the point of no delay.
That'd be pretty good. That'd be even more delay.
Oh, it's delay +2. Trust me, this is.
Oh.
Oh yeah, this is happening.
Oh God, Discord. What do you? There we go. Oh. 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 There we are.
Oh.
Excellent. It was having a moment there. It couldn't decide what it wanted to do, if it wanted to crash my computer or not, but it decided not to.
And for
Just
those,
lovely.
because this is also going on the second channel, for those watching this after the fact, yes, we're doing this on Twitch, on my not very often used Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Jamie_plays_stuff. Follow if you have nothing better to do.
It's me. I'm stuff. Jamie plays me.
I play too. I play with your
yeah.
stuff.
Question mark? Exclamation point?
Ooh, actually, you want to see some stuff I am playing with that I got for $20 at Target?
Ooh, yeah.
I got this.
Show me the stuff you
mini
play.
Atari, world's smallest Atari.
Oh hell yeah!
It's a little Atari system with a joystick that's actually bigger than the console, with 10 games built in, and it has its own little mini TV that's plugged into.
I really like the whole aesthetic of that. I'm gonna take it that the joystick is not scale to the rest of the setup there.
I almost love that though, because it just feels so cartoony.
Right, it's so exaggerated. I think that's funnier.
Alright, should we start watching our own documentary?
Yeah.
This
I am ready for
and also
to
this
watch.
is like the last time we have to watch this for a bit, unless we want to like, because like when you make a documentary, you're proud of it when it's done, but you're also like, I don't want to have to. No more.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's like every video I make, especially the longer ones. It comes out, I usually watch it for the premiere, and then I'm like, I'm never fucking watching this ever again. And then like a month or two will pass, and I'll watch it again, and I'll be like, oh damn, I did a good job on that.
No, I'm the same way. Like, I remember I finished the Sonic Extreme documentary, and someone asked me about it randomly, like in 2021, and I rewatched it for the first time since it released. I was like, wow,
that exists.
I made that.
Yeah, wow, that was by my own two hands.
And I saw in the credits where I used my dead name, and I'm like, huh.
that was a long time ago. It's always an interesting thing when you make something long enough ago and there's like an indication that it's from another time, and you're like, oh, this is a weird feeling.
Listening to early speedrun episodes, I'm like, yeah, I was just popping off down the street to Epic Games and more. I'm like, oh, you were now, huh? Oh my god, that felt dated even when the Sonic movie came. By the way, I'm hyped for Sonic movie too.
Oh, that looks very good.
Got a date to go see it.
Oh hell yeah!
It has Knuckles. I don't know if you know this, but unlike Sonic, he doesn't chuckle.
Is that because he would rather flex his muscles?
Yeah.
He's rougher than the rest of them and the best of them.
Oh yeah. They're just pointing out. So the Atari has 10. Sorry, this one's 10. Has 10 games because, along with Centipede, Pong, Missile Command, Breakout, Asteroids Combat, Warlords Millipede, and Tempest, this is from Target, and the Target version has one extra game.
Oh my god. Target Showdown.
The crappy Atari version of Pac-Man.
It's like 9 games plus a bonus Pac-Man, and I'm like, that's just 10 games.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that feels more like it's like negative value. It's just one extra menu selection that you'll never pick.
It has 8 games. Pac-Man and Pong count for half a game each.
Together they make one full game.
I'm kind of curious though, is it like just a one-player Pong?
I think it would like have to be. I don't think you could do 2-player on it.
Like, or maybe it's like you'd have to buy like a secondary joystick.
I also like that like the box has like wood paneling and like carpeting.
I want to do a video on this, and I want to film it in Jazzy's basement with the wood paneling. And, like, I want to go to Savers and get, like, a shag carpet rug.
No,
Just for the video.
absolutely not.
On that note, you ready to, again, watch our own stream in beautiful, crisp 1080p?
I am raring to go.
Let's do this.
Woohoo.
This is a
turn the
story
audio
that starts
down.
with a pair of Game Boy games.
Oh yeah, so we can do
The
the thing.
original Pokemon
So
games
can you tell me a little bit
phenomenon,
about just
unlike
the
anything seen
some of the
before
animation,
or
especially with the Game
since.
Boy stuff at the
At the
beginning?
tail
Because
end of the
what you've
1990s,
described to me so
you couldn't
far is
escape
that it
it.
was quite
Cards,
intricate in
clothes,
terms of layering.
CDs.
So
Pokemon
the
managed
funny
to
thing
seep
is,
into
all of
every
this with
facet of
overlaying,
life.
now it's just
And
me
out of
playing
this
with
game
different
series sprung an animated
layers in
TV
Premiere.
series. From that
And
sprung
then, you know, putting them
a
together
musical?
and using this really
Pokemon
cool
Live
film
was
roll
supposed
effect.
to be the next
Pokemon
big thing
Live
for Pokemon.
intro was
An
me,
adaptation of the hit TV
moving-
series,
playing
this
around
show
with the
toured the
ball
world
action
and was
effect
even
in
set to get a
After
home video
Effects.
release of its own.
Hmm.
The
But
Game
then,
Gear thing, I actually
nothing.
learned how to do basic
How does a
3D
piece,
modeling
one of the
to make
world's
that.
largest media franchises tour the world and then
Oh,
basically
if only.
lost media.
Maybe when there's a Sonic musical, we'll do
Pokemon
that.
fall into obscurity,
I want
and
a Sonic
how did it
musical.
get
You know, sure.
rediscovered?
I want
I'd
it
do
to
that.
be
To
about how
answer
Sonic
all
and
of those
Tails became
questions, we
friends.
first have to
Someone
understand
did.
the
This is
story
off
of
topic, so I
creation
won't
of
linger on it for
Pokemon.
too long. But someone did
That,
inform me that in
perhaps,
Japan,
is a
at some
story
point,
that's
there was
best
like a
shown
Puyo Puyo
instead of told.
play or something like that. So I'll have to look into that sometime. But yeah, this part here with the
Yeah.
Game Boy.
Okay, so I'm going to pause for a sec. I promise I'm not going to do that ton. So I made this model, right? And that one was better because it actually, like, I animated the little light thing.
Right.
And I couldn't for the life of me. Here's the thing. I feel terrible saying this because I have a pro editing background. I couldn't for the life of me find a way to actually get it to work nicely with After Effects. So I basically just took like this front image and I just overlaid it a bunch of times and then recomposed it in Premiere. It's basically just a bunch of layers of 2D images overlaid in such a way to mimic a 3D image, which is also why there's no like volume slider or anything on this model.
Sure.
No,
Okay.
no.
Which, in its own way, that is quite the challenge. Which is, oh my god, I can't even imagine doing that. You said, didn't you say your computer started having some issues with it?
This Game Boy file from After Effects, not the background, which not like the Premiere thing, just the Game Boy itself with the Pokemon Green intro playing, and the full intro, which was only what, like 15-20 seconds. It somehow ended up at nearly 30 gigabytes.
Computer, like we had to restart it completely.
Yes, I had to shut my computer down because it just locked up, and I've never had to. This is like, it's not a bad PC. Like, yeah, it only has like a 2070 in it, which I know isn't the best GPU, but it has like a fuck ton of RAM in it. It has like a good 32 gigs of RAM, which, I mean, for what I can afford is a lot.
Yeah, no, that's not bad.
And it was like, please shoot me.
Just couldn't do it. It's just humming
And then
sound.
because I wanted to keep my, and then what I did is I edited it in sections and then assembled those sections into each act, and basically kept doing a bunch of really big master file recordings. Thank God I have just a couple 10 terabyte drives just on hand.
Right.
Because usually when I do a YouTube video, I don't do mastering because it's fucking YouTube.
Well, right. Just
But
gets
with
crushed.
this, I'm like, I want to preserve the quality. Because it's that weird thing. I'm like, you know what? This is a documentary I'm really proud of that you and I have been working on for months. I'm going to get as weird and hopefully not pretentious with it as possible. I just want to get artsy with it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think we talked about a couple times how having it sort of in that like almost Netflix, Amazon Prime level of presentation or quality was a bit of a goal.
I will say this, like, I want to do more Art of Failure docs going forward, but I want them all to be in the style where, like, if I'm saying anything, it's just the intro and outro.
Right, more just letting the story tell itself. You kind of curate that.
Right. Because what my issue with a lot of the older Art of Failure vids, and don't get me wrong, I'm proud of them, especially the Sonic Extreme one. But it felt almost like, yes, I'm the expert on this. I'm the person who's telling the story. This
Right.
is. But with this, I'm like, I'm fucking off and letting the people who actually experience this,
Yeah, I mean, that was the cool thing too. Which we'll get into it. We got to talk to some of the people who worked on this, and it's like, well, they really said it as best as anyone could ever say it. Let's just let them do it.
Yeah, it's like, we can't really add anything. Like, I'm not going to comment on Jesse showing his scrapbook.
Yeah, no, I think just having it, which that's the thing. Even the 10 Things video, where there's a lot more commentary from us, there's some clips where I'm like, well, I just got to let this roll. Like, what business do I have commentating over this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's a cool way of approaching it.
Should we talk about the one interview that got away while I let this roll again? Ego.
Do it. But yeah, the interview that got away, I messaged Jay Goad, who he voiced Mewtwo in not only Pokemon the first movie, but also in Pokemon Puzzle League and in Pokemon Live. And he was it sounded like he was initially okay with having an interview, but I think I believe what it was is scheduling. Oh, it's Bezos. I believe
Jeffrey Bezos.
Jeffrey Bezos. You did it. I think it was a scheduling thing. I think it got in the way, but I did discover one interesting factoid about him, which I don't remember if it was that he was born in or currently resides in, but he's got some history with Minnesota, which is familiar to me.
Territory.
Oh yeah, I know my way around Minnesota. I wanted to check. It looked like he was doing a con appearance in Minnesota at some point. I might have missed the boat on that, but if I ever get a chance, would love to see him. Not like for like, okay, I'm gonna shove a microphone in your face, but just to ask something.
Yeah. I'd love to see him as well, because I was really into Pokemon the first movie.
Oh,
as a
yeah.
kid, and I just want to be like, thank you for just helping bring a part of my childhood to life.
Oh yeah, that's my inclination with most voice actors who are in things I liked as kids. It just rolled past, but there is one news clip that I really liked in there where can you pause for a second?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Typical woman.
Yeah, exactly. All the gold is rolling by. But the news clip that just played where it was like, this franchise, Pocket Monsters, where there is Pikachu, is one of the most Pikachu. It is one of the most popular computer games, and it's like, okay.
Oh god.
No
They
research
played
was
the
done.
Nintendo computer game.
It's so funny.
Actually, I will be honest, this is the one part where I took liberty with it. This article, this news clip is actually the earliest of these, because most of the ones I used came from late 98 to mid 99.
Right.
This one came from early 98, and it was commenting about children who had seizures from Electric Soldier Porygon, how they had recovered.
Oh, okay. So that was quite early into the game.
Yeah, but I'm like, I feel like this kind of just gets the vibe, because kind of my goal with this first section was, I had this conversation with a few folks a while back where, people our age, like older Gen Z and up to like through millennials, like, we're always dogging on fucking kids for like playing Fortnite and shit nowadays. Which, I mean, yeah, it's kind of annoying at times.
You're getting on the Tic Tacs. All that shit.
It's a thing. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I don't give a shit about flossing or whatever. I say it sound like a boomer, But do you remember when we were annoying ass kids obsessed with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and fucking
I
yo-yo tricks?
I had that moment where someone was telling me about like the Sword and Shield Pokemon because I didn't play that game, and I
Yeah.
was looking through all the names and I couldn't pronounce them, and I was like, have Pokemon names always been this difficult, and I've been like the annoying prick that learns them all, or like did they get more difficult, or am I just like have I just come onto the other side of the equation now?
The funny
Um,
thing is actually, so my youngest nephew is really into Pokemon.
mhm.
And the last time I saw my sister, there's some stuff there, but last time, this relationship wise, I won't get into, but last time I saw my sister was for my grandmother's funeral, you know, very tense, somber moment, right?
Mhm.
But, so we're in the living room just chatting about our memories, and it's like 10 p.m. at night, the kids are in bed, and he comes down, and he's like, Mommy, Aunt Jamie, guess, want to hear a cool Pokemon fact? It's like, what's up, kiddo? And he's like, did you know that if Charmander's tail fire goes out, he dies? And she's like, that's not true. I'm like, no, the kid's
No,
4 and he knows his lore.
he knows it. He's getting it down.
Actually, Skylar Chet says yo-yo tricks, a school district mandated childhood interest. No, it wasn't. They tried to get everyone to cut stacking in my district. People kept
Oh,
swapping
I forgot.
yo-yos and stuff around so much when I was like in elementary school that they banned yo-yos for about 2 years.
I was gonna say, Skylar, when I read that, I was like, I maybe this is just a sign of when I was in elementary school, but I remember the thing that all the teachers were. It was a give and take because on one hand, it was silly bans because on one hand, teachers would be like, okay, we know we can hold your attention with these, we'll give them out as prizes because they're cheap. But then everyone was playing with their goddamn silly bans too much, so they took them away.
The
Yeah.
worst has to be with the Yu-Gi-Oh! In elementary and middle school. We got it banned twice. Because not only would we play the if you lose, we get to search your deck for a card and take it.
Oh my god.
But we only knew one tournament rule, and that's that Pot of Greed was banned. So what we do is, if you brought a Pot of Greed card, you'd set it out to the side of the play field, and other people who were watching would place you'd treat the Pot of Greed as the pot, as in people would put their cards in as bets, basically using Yu-Gi-Oh cards to gamble, like on matches.
Isn't that the way it always goes with trading cards? It always seems to.
And so I can kind of understand why they banned it. I mean, we spent about 6 months running what was basically just a Yu-Gi-Oh gambling ring.
Jesus Christ. Both elementary schools I went to did the yo-yo stuff instead of cup stacking. That's interesting to me.
It's really interesting.
I don't know if anyone was ever really too much into yo-yos where I was. Certainly school didn't. Well, no, they might have given away as like some cheap yo-yos as prizes, but certainly wasn't like any cool trick stuff. I think I knew like one kid who could do some cool yo-yo tricks. I was about it.
So this one more tangent before we go on.
No worries.
Like the decade before I was born, before my mom was like, I have 2 kids, I'm going to become a stay-at-home mom. She actually ran a small shop, and she had the main thing was trick kites, you know, because competitive kite flying is a big thing, you know, like people making the most elaborate kites they can and such, right?
Yeah.
But along with the one thing that always got kids through the door was they sold Pogs. Like my mom was like, yeah, she's like, I remember Pogs came out and your sister was really into them, so I was like, okay, I can stock some of those and some Pog related things. It's back when Pog meant something very different, kids.
Yeah, this is before the eras of Twitch and the PogChamp emote and
She was
the
like, and suddenly I was making like
Poggers.
3 months worth of rent for the shop in like a week.
You think if I started selling Pogs, I could make rent?
I think, you know what, you can if you market it well. Then you can become a real Pog champ, if you will.
Maybe that's what I should
And like
do.
6 different people just left the stream, and I don't blame them.
I should call them Poggers, and then that'll double the sales single-handedly.
And it's completely legally no. These aren't pogs. These are poggers.
These are poggers, and I don't think the word poggers isn't like copyrighted. It's just a word.
I feel bad about this convo because people are going to jump in and we're just going to say like, "How do you do, fellow kids?"
They're like, "Oh, director's commentary on the professionally made documentary," and they hop into the stream. Haha, poggers, pog chat.
You want me to start back up?
Yeah, please do. Because then we get to talk about the preacher man.
So the preacher man's funny
This is
because
the
I
main
remember you
character
had one
right here.
request while I started editing.
He's called Ash.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that you were
That's
going to
what
do
I
a
say, it's what
segment
material
in the
says.
lead up
Let
showing
me
like
tell
the
you
cultural
what they
significance of
describe him as.
Pokemon,
Listen
and
to
I was
this.
like, "There's this
An
fucking clip."
energetic and determined
Of this
10-year-old who's a
goddamn
little too
preacher.
competitive.
Yeah,
He's
where
obsessed with
he's
catching all
talking all about how
Pokemon and
Pokemon is
becoming the
satanic,
world's
and it's the
foremost
funniest shit
Pokemon
I've ever
master.
seen in my life.
And here's Brock
And
over
the
here
one
in
clip
corner,
was
and
specifically where
Brock
he's like,
is by
"This is
far the
Misty.
most
She's
hormonal
headstrong and always
because
arguing
his
with Ash.
fascination with the opposite
Typical
sex
woman."
many times gets him
It's so
or them
good.
in trouble.
He what I love is the way you cut it too, because he tries to play it off as a joke after, but like that's not a joke.
No, I'm like that. You said that with your full chest.
No, he was into it. I mean, given some of the other awful shit he says too, it's like, nah, that was coming from somewhere. Oh look, it's my Pokemon VHS thing
The
now.
weird thing is, so like, I spent a lot of my childhood in Texas, right?
Yeah.
There were so many fucking people on like local TV who were just like that preacher. And if it wasn't Pokemon, it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Or the one big thing, and I say this despite vehemently hating J.K. Rowling now, but Harry Potter. All the
Oh,
kids are into
yeah.
Harry Potter. It's witchcraft. Like, do you remember the Simpsons joke where it's like, and Harry Potter and all his wizard friends
Oh yeah. yeah.
straight to hell for practicing witchcraft? I'm like, yeah, that's local TV in Texas circa 2003.
Oh, I've seen some of that shit because it was always Harry Potter and Pokemon. I remember I found an article from like 2002 where someone fucking asked the Pope, "Is Pokemon satanic? Is Pokemon safe for children?" And he's like, "What? Yeah, it's fine. Literally, who gives a shit?"
And the Lord Doth said,
and then there are two characters.
gets
One's called Jesse.
That's true. I feel like we got to take that advice from the Lord more often. That's the Bible writing that I can really get behind.
Looking to steal rare Pokemon.
Oh yeah, and then the cross-dressing
Jesse and
bit.
James are stuck up,
and
fashion
the funny
conscious,
is I made sure to use
and you know
clips
what?
where it's like, all
In the
this comes
program,
back at some point.
They're also prone to cross-dressing.
That's true, actually. Now that you say that, especially with some of the merchandise, because it all. I mean, we have a lot of clips in there about how Pokemon Live really did become just a vehicle for merch. Okay, moms and dads.
Oh, sorry, there's still convo to chat about the motivational yo-yo man.
I mean, that's not a bad thing.
All these B-roll clips of like the park and whatnot. I actually took those in one afternoon at the park, and Xander can attest. For some of them, I spent like half an hour in some of these shots each, just like I want
Oh,
the
yeah.
sun to hit the cartridges this way because I'm like, I'm not. Ooh, sorry, I'm getting hiccups. You cover for
No,
me.
no worries. But
Oh,
yeah,
that was Blade Runner inspired text.
Jamie wanted the light to hit the cartridges just right because I wanted it to look really good, so you could see the gold and the silver and the. I'm not you. I'm having a lot of trouble. Can you hop back?
Sure. So, let's see. Stock footage I got from Pexels, which is royalty free.
Oh, Pexels is excellent.
I love Pexels.
If you're starting out making YouTube videos, you need a little B-roll. You don't have fucking $150 to pay for just like a 3-second clip of like the city skyline. Go to Pexels. They got you.
If you want another easy thing, something I've started doing in my regular videos, when I'm out and about, I'm like, that's a nicely lit shot. I'll just pop my phone out, I'm like, and now I have B-roll of a train, or a duck, or
You
some
know,
cars or something.
I gotta replace my phone. Maybe I should get one with a decent camera so I can start doing that.
I got a Galaxy A32 last year. Ignore the grody screen protector. It's not as nice as the S series as far as specs go, but it has I think it's a 5500 milliamp hour battery.
Huh.
So like I can start recording and it will just keep going. I also
That's
use a
actually-
lot for Pokemon Go.
Prepared to write the script.
Ooh,
Slade was
going to the
sent
polls.
VHS tape
Um,
of Pokemon the
Speaking
first
of
movie franchise.
Pokemon,
Found it insane
currently
Yes.
in the doc we're seeing footage of
watched the movie
Michael
through
Slade, who
numerous times. Soon
was
after
the
release,
writer
the
for
show was
Pokemon
set to
Live,
premiere
and
less than 6
very
months.
luckily a couple of years ago, he was interviewed by Game Informer, and it's just a really that was one of the first things we looked at when we were kind of wanting to make this, because we hadn't interviewed anybody yet, and there's so much insight in that interview, which is really funny because Michael Slade, when the interview starts, he's like, I think you used the clip in this. They're like, "Do you want to work on Pokemon? Do you know about Pokemon?" He's like, "Oh yeah, Pikachu." And he's like, that name is the only thing I knew about Pokemon."
He's like, I didn't know anything else. I lied through my teeth because I'm like, ooh, I really need this job. It's such a shame he passed away a few years back because he had a really interesting life. He worked on a lot of other family-oriented musicals, and honestly, oddly enough, later in life, got into writing for various soap operas.
Oh, that's right. He had like the TV career in the 2000s.
And the one thing I wish I could have gotten his comment on is, he mentioned the interview clip about Andrew Rannells talking about hating playing Team Rocket James because he thought he was a gay stereotype.
Oh, right.
Which is odd because I forget if he was gay or bi, but you know, Michael Slade himself was some flavor of LGBTQ.
Yeah, didn't we? I believe we read about his partner at one point, who was a man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of curious. That is actually a really interesting question because Michael Slade, I mean, obviously didn't originate the character of James, but he saw James in the source material and he wrote him accurately to that source material. So now I'm just curious. He mentions the whole "don't ask, don't tell" bit.
Yes, the fact that James makes a "don't ask, don't tell" joke, but only in a couple early shows. Then the people from Pokemon Company or Pokemon, but like from Nintendo and stuff were like, "You gotta cut that."
Yeah, the way he talks about it makes it sound like he didn't write that, which I think is funny. It kind of sounds like that's something Andrew added. There is video of hey, it's Elmo and Olaf.
I felt really proud of a lot of these transitions because some of them, actually, fun fact, were just me like, all right, I'm going to play around with like rotation effects and whatnot and see if I can get it to flow into each other.
And I think you pulled that off. Absolutely.
Oh, we're at the
I
point
mean-
where Jesse and Patrick come in.
Yeah, so these were the two interviews that we got to have, and it was, God, it was so. I think we talked to Patrick first, and I remember it was so surreal. I think I talk about it in the other video, but it's like being able to actually like sit down for like an hour or whatever with people who had a direct role in a franchise that I've loved since like my earliest memories start. It's really, really weird, but it was so cool, and they were so friendly too. It's just very incredibly pleasant conversations. Obviously, a lot of insight. Jesse showed off his scrapbook, as Jamie mentioned. It's just very, very cool. I mentioned earlier I gotta send these to them because we interviewed them
We did.
a while back.
These interviews were from last September. That's
Yeah.
how long we've been working on this.
There's a good
Last
chance.
July, June, July last year.
Oh, it was something like that. It was God. There's a good chance they'll get the text or the email or whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
I saw that on Kotaku.
Oh yeah, that could be. That could be. I do wonder if anyone else involved with Pokemon Live will ever get a chance to see it. We did. There's an excellent, very short interview with Andrew Rannells about Pokemon Live.
I would love to get Andrew Rannells' take on it, especially because the one thing I hope never come off is like he was clearly not fond of the role. But
No.
the balance is like I'm like I don't think he's an ass or anything, and because I've been told
No.
like, oh, he kind of comes off as an ass, but I'm like, no, he just seems like he wasn't super enthused about the role, and I get it.
No, I think. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's like. I think part of it too is he might not like. When he's talking about it, he's talking about like his personal thoughts and like experiences with the role. He's probably not considering like how deeply important Pokemon is to a lot of people, because for him it's like that's the foot in the door, right?
Yeah.
And like every other interview I've seen of Andrew Rannells talking about not Pokemon Live, he comes off as a very friendly person. There's one video I found of him signing autographs where somebody asks him about Sonic X, and he clearly does not want to be asked about Sonic X, but he's very polite to the person.
I don't blame, and I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
because like he probably would prefer you ask about Book of Mormon or what. I mean, goodness, they got him a Tony nomination. It's
Right.
one of my personal favorite interviews. Or not interviews, one of my personal favorite musicals, if only because
Honestly, it was a lot of our first
well,
big roles
there's a bit in the high
So,
school
no more
where someone,
of the
as a prank,
you know
rigged up
summer stock
one of the speaker
type,
systems, like
you
in
know,
one of the
things where
hallways
we're
to just
rehearsing
blast
one day
Hasadi
and
get
then
Evil
building
Eye.
the set the other day.
And that always kind of stuck with me.
That's pretty good. I've wanted to like watch it since going through this, because I'm like, I want to see Andrew Rannells in something that he actually doesn't hate. Because he's even in Pokemon Live, where he describes like I would have rather done a snuff film or porn. He's great in Pokemon Live. He's excellent.
I was watching through it with Xander, and he's like, Xander was like, for all the issues, no, Pokemon Live is not a perfect musical. There's 5 different love ballads, and most of them are from Ash to his rat.
Yeah.
Also, I like how that became a running thing when we go through the show. Everyone's like, Ash and his rat. It's not
It is-
Pikachu, it's
No.
his rat.
Not even his Pokemon, his rat.
But it's, Xander was like,
I did not have a Nintendo.
Andrew and
I was
Lauren
a
have
gamer,
absolute
so I didn't
Team
really
Rocket
know much
energy.
about it.
Oh my god, they play off of each other so well. Jesse talks about that even. Like they're just even the interview where they're asked about like the roles of Team Rocket. All the other people being interviewed, they're like, yeah, this is a really exciting show for me. I swear, Lauren and Andrew are just basically in character for that interview.
Basically,
Like,
just trying to learn the
it's
That
actually
reminds
good.
me.
Each other's
I'm
sentences.
doing a
Professor
couple
Oak,
Patreon
somebody
posts.
was supposed to
One
be
is because we have a
Pokemon
cut clip
expert,
from
and that was one thing they
the 10
realized,
facts
not
video that went up on
Pokemon,
your
it's
channel
Pokemon.
that's a companion to
Through,
this.
yeah, it was too spicy for YouTube.
So that will be for Patreon, but I'm
Character
going to
was
be
very
doing a public.
maybe
excuse
too
me.
much so.
It's going to be via Patreon, just so it's in one place, but it's going to be a publicly viewable Patreon post, so you won't need to be subscribed for it. It's just going to have the full uncut versions of not only these interviews in the speedrun episode, but also some of the archival footage. Mainly, I want to have another place on the internet where people can find the clips from the making of documentary that was originally made for the canceled VHS release.
Right,
Of all
right.
the interviews, like I think that's just important to archive. And I'm doing it this format because, like, I don't want to flood my second channel so much that it all just gets buried.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's a good thing. A lot of it is like, sure, you can find it if you look, but it's good to just have it all in one place. And then of course the interviews we did, those currently, I believe the plan for those was that they will go up on Patreon, but eventually they'll be second channel material, so anyone will be able to access those. But if you want to see them early, you want to get the
question
fix.
is, you want us to do that route, or should I just make that also on the publicly available to everyone Patreon post?
That might be a good thing to do too. I think I do think having them on the second channel is valuable though. Just having them on
Just have them
YouTube
search,
really easily
search
accessible.
to make it
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload them with the other ones, but make that the only one of these clips that's going to be Patreon, like, backer locked is the one that was too spicy about Chris Mitchell talking about certain actresses' cup sizes. Which, by the way, is gross and not okay for those wondering about our take on that.
It's a weird thing. We did a whole segment about that, and it's like it's interesting And I think it's funny the way we present it, but it's also like, I don't want that in the middle of the video.
Yeah. But for the rest of these, publicly searchable on Patreon and going up over the next few weeks as scheduled content on my second channel, SWP2, just so that they're out there and searchable. Just because the thing is that I've already gotten what I needed out of them. There's no reason for us to hold these back. You know what's something I hate in like both documentary making and also like game collecting?
What's that?
When people find like a prototype of a game or like an early manuscript of like a movie script or something, and they're like, "This is mine. This is going on display. I have no intent on ever backing it up." And I'm like, "But why?"
I am an advocate for media just being accessible, no matter what. Nintendo, release the Pokemon Live tapes. I don't care if they're edited or not. I'll fucking edit them. I'll do it.
Well, and then the issue of that even is, as we'll talk about later on, it's not just Nintendo and Radio City. There's issues. The issue is that 4Kids' assets are now all owned by Konami.
Oh, right. So if they still have a stake in that, it's like, oh, I know you're getting fucking Konami involved. It's like,
and
like
Konami
I think
Konami.
Right. I think Chris Mitchell said the tapes themselves technically are currently under possession of the Pokemon Company, but you know, again, rights-wise, it gets a little confusing. Copyright law done. Public domain win.
I wish public domain was something that happened way sooner, like maybe after like 20 years.
And then when they
at least after like. I guess I don't know how it would work with productions that involve like this many people, but like, you know, for something that's a creation of like one person, at least when they die, like I think at that point safely things should probably transfer into the public domain. That's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, or at the very least, like I wish they'd at least find, if they can't release these recordings, at least like a way to be like, can you at least just put the script up online? Like let some off-Broadway or some regular city-based, you know, groups just put on their own shows as community theater or whatnot. Because more than anything else,
I'd do it.
It's a really fun show to watch.
Yeah, I think it would do really well seeing other people's interpretations of it, because obviously, like, the big production is like it's got all the Pokemon. That's quite expensive, but I'd love to see it just get interpreted by people on a budget.
I want to see what like a high school take on Pokemon Live would be.
God, could you imagine? That would have single-handedly gotten me to join theater. See what you could be doing, Nintendo. You could be getting choir kids who are friends with like 10 theater kids to join theater. Oh, it's friend of the channel, the Cartoon Gamer, who knows maybe more about the Pokemon anime than any other person I know. Incredibly talented. He has a lot of interviews with voice actors from 4Kids on his channel.
Oh, dope.
And yeah, stuff of that nature. Just a lot of really specific aspects of the Pokemon anime. So I was like, okay, we're getting a bunch of voices involved. I gotta ask him. He's got to be involved in the Pokemon thing.
But his power was Bubbles.
His power was Bubbles. This whole description, Michael Slade's just so funny.
I'm just responding to chat things. I love Michael Slade's just entire vibe about this. He seems so excited in this interview.
Yeah, and it's the perfect like comedic timing and everything too when he tells any story. His description of this Lapras crop as a 15-foot tall gigantic mega thing that opens its mouth and like bubbles from like a children's toy come out. It just cracks me up every time.
If I could make any other video though, besides I have another art of failure that I can't promise what I'm trying to get set up about the Gizmondo, which was a handheld game console where the mastermind behind it had ties to the Swedish mafia.
Dude, I love the story of this. Is the Gizmondo also the one that fucking melts in your hand?
Yes, if you let it sit in direct sunlight, it will melt. It has a proprietary battery, and its #1 pack-in game was Sticky Balls.
4 million or something.
What
It was
a
lot of money.
classic. More like Sticky Gizmondo.
And Sticky
and there was
Balls
a
even
lot
had a
of
song.
people who went on
A song to
Sticky
go
Ball.
with it,
very,
the
very,
Sticky
very
Ball song.
Still successful.
You know, we were just talking about how some people learned about Pokemon Live from watching this or the companion video. So we're like kind of passing on being the new teachers of this thing. Just think, you're going to be the new person to teach someone about the Gizmondo and Sticky Balls for the first time.
It was just a lot, they just made the
But if I could do anything, because like I'm living in the Midwest now. I'd love it for like you, me, Jazzy, and Xander to all get together. Like maybe if we got like I don't know, like a lot of money off Patreon or a Netflix contract or something, and just go to Ontario, go into the Tivoli Theater, and even if there's only a few props left, we could like be like, and this is where all the Pikachu died.
Especially if we find a fucking like dismembered one and it's like, this is a symptom of the carnage that took place. Just really
You know what I
brutal.
would love to find? That Zapdos.
Oh my god. Like, there's just so many of, especially the flying ones, I think are just so interesting, especially, but I mean, all of them. What was there was one I noticed for the first time when watching the documentary, because I was like, my impression was I was like, oh, this came out in kind of a weird, like, between Gen 1 and Gen 2 spot. So, you have Gen 2 Pokemon on the screens, you have, like, Pokemon World playing at the beginning, but it's all, like, Gen 1 Pokemon being presented in costume or prop form. And then I was watching the documentary, and I saw fucking Ledyba, and I'm like, what's this?
You know what I really don't get? Because the only time I really noticed a lot of Gen 2 Mon were like on the back of like the finale screen.
Exactly, yeah. It's where it's like a PNG.
And then they used a Lugia, like they had Pikachu, Volkswagen Bugs, and Lugia PT Cruisers to promote the show, and Lugia doesn't appear once.
So I gotta wonder, like, what?
I'm having
why
nerd
they did that.
rage.
I mean, maybe it's just because that's what they had on hand. I'll have to go back and watch it. There was another YouTuber named Mew is Me 700, owner of a Pikachu car. She did a video on the Lugia PT Cruisers, and it's fucking awesome. She did a couple videos where she restored it. It's very, very neat. But she did a video on the history of the Lugia PT Cruiser, and I think it was made for the Gold and Silver. Well, I mean, there were 5 of them. I think they were made for the American launch of Gold and Silver, which I think. Does that even make sense though? Because didn't Gold and Silver come out after?
She did. It's a YouTube short, but it's just called My Pikachu Car in 1999.
Oh, that's such a classic.
That's
oh yeah, that's
fantastic.
that's footage of it originally, and then like. Yeah, we can. I don't know if we'll do that on stream or off stream, but that would be a cool thing to look at. Is just seeing the state it was in when she got it versus like how it is now. It looks exactly like it used to.
If she'd ever, here's the restoration bit. If she'd ever like want to be like interviewed on Speedrun or let's do a video on it, I would love just to see that. Like I'm not even big into cars or anything. I just think this is such a cool piece of and such a weird, like, offbeat piece of gaming history.
I feel like that would be an excellent Speedruns episode. My understanding is that she's very knowledgeable on Pokemon and on cars. She has, I mean, there's tons of videos on her channel. She collects, like, Pokemon merchandise that I didn't even think was, like, possible to collect. Like, she's like, yeah, I got fucking, like, Pokemon Pop-Tart boxes from 2003. Do you want to know the history of, like, the Wonder Ball? Like, the candy with the chocolate with, like, the shit inside of it? And it's like...
That sounds really good.
Yeah, like, someone just linked one of her videos in my Discord one day, and I watched it, and I was like, this is, like, exactly... Oh, yeah, there it is. That was the only footage we could find of those, and that too, that news report. That was the only footage we could find of those at the Pokemon Live event. I literally asked her, I was like, you have a whole like website documenting like Pika car sightings. Do you know anything about this being at the Pokemon Live premiere? Because Patrick brought it up. Patrick said that they were brought in the Pika bugs. And she said no. She said, like, it wouldn't surprise me if they were there, but I don't know that for sure.
That's fair.
And I'm like, but yeah, that was like, that goes to show how obscure of a fact that is. That it's like, technically there's like footage of it, but like, the person who knows probably the most in the world about these cars, like, didn't know about that.
Actually, so this section here, we're about to get to the part where we go through the rundown of the show itself, which, by the way, features no fewer than 11 of our YouTuber friends, including Jesse and Patrick and ourselves. 23 different people worked on some form on this documentary.
It ended up being quite a thing, and it was so great because you know, this documentary's got a very formal tone, as Art of Failure tends to, but it was so great because some of our friends, I thought, did a really good job maintaining that formal tone, but some of them, it's like, oh, there's a quick joke in there, and because it's just like a quick, relevant thing in the middle of an otherwise formal thing, they hit so hard.
And my
Like, I laughed at.
Oh, here's a section. Yes, I animated that in After Effects as well. I love pulling out After Effects where I can. I don't do it much.
Hell yeah.
But what I really like, though, is the jokes don't feel out of place because Jesse and Patrick, Jesse especially, were very laid back about it, which was a very nice thing.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, you know what my favorite Jesse line is?
Oh god, what is it?
At the start of this section, right after the whole open, the curtain rises, and it's the intro to the show, and it's just a clip of Jesse saying, so that opening night in Albany, they had to stay at the Ramada, and it was really ghetto. We thought it was too ghetto to be called a Ramada, so we called it the Ramdada.
That was one I forgot about until I watched the doc, and I was like, oh yeah. Oh my god. There's just so many cool like tidbits. There's the one where he shows the scrapbook and it's like Dominic like drinking a beer and he's like, here's Dominic being Dominic, and I'm like, that's Ash Ketchum like drinking a beer.
So what is the question for the chat and for you? What is Ash Ketchum's beer of choice when in canon he hits the age of 19 BC 21 for the Americans?
Oh, that joke's so good. That's my friend Marcus Shaw, Cool Discs 101, famed for the Invader Zim. When? And a number of other shit posts. I worked with him on the Poke Shipping video, where he voiced Ash and Brock in the fanfic section. It was really cool to be able to work with him again on the Pokemon thing. I'm unfortunately not very knowledgeable on different types of beer, so I don't know. I feel like Ash is a lightweight though, so probably something just really weak, watered down.
You know what Brock's favorite beer would be?
What's that?
Rolling Rock.
Yeah, that is true.
Did y'all hear this? My husband's just shouting in another room, Jamie, that sucks.
Is he wrong?
I thought I was clever.
What? That got me so good. It's so dry because it's technically just like a true fact, but just the zoom in on here is where we learn that Brock is fluent in American Sign Language because it's such a random goddamn thing that happens.
It's like it's the 90s. We're inclusive in that 90s way where the thing that makes these characters different is the only part of their personality. That will make people feel represented on screen.
It's so interesting they have Mew in just as like an extra for Misty Song, and that's about it.
Mew Puppet itself looks fantastic, though.
Oh my god, it's great. The effect of it, just with the darkness of the background, it's like, oh my god, Mew's flying in front of me. It's just very cool.
I'm proud to say that of all the documentaries I've worked on, along with being the first one I've made that's this link since, coming out as trans, this is definitely probably the queerest project I've ever been a part of as far as YouTube goes.
Well, I mean, it's about fucking Pokemon Live, so I think that definitely comes with the territory. I mean, we were talking about it, just because there were numerous queer people just involved with the production of it, was just cool. And I mean, we didn't get to talk to either of them, but Michael and Andrew, there were interviews available, so we get to actually hear them talk about their role in it, which I think is really cool.
Also, someone in the chat says, "Therapist, Leglypuff isn't real. It can't hurt you." Meanwhile, I'm proud to announce I have a new YouTube channel banner image that I made, like to coincide with this, and it actually features Jigglypuff with legs because the meme is too strong and I can't resist.
That's the calling card of your channel now. I did I was like, oh, you know what? It's only appropriate. I changed my Twitter handle from Luigi Historian to Pokemon Live Historian because, you know, I think it's fair to call ourselves that now.
Tearfully sings "The Time Has Come," a goodbye song for his Pokemon.
Meanwhile, at the Diamond Badge Gym, Delia and Professor Oak
Johnny, there you cut out for a sec.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I just changed my Twitter handle from Luigi Historian to Pokemon Live Historian because I feel as though by now we've both earned that title.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to go onto Twitter right now. Y'all can hear me typing.
According to Blade, the implication was intended to be that Giovanni was Ash's father.
As a teenager, I felt like it was a bad
how old is Jamie and the Lugia PT Cruiser?
That's good. What? I'm trying to remember. You've had like so many iterations of your Twitter bio. I'm trying to remember what the current one was because one of them was like the sticky balls girl.
Oh, Sticky B, the Gizmondo girl.
Yeah. That was it. Sticky B.
So
there's my dear friend, the Manic Pineapple, doing the voiceover right there.
So going back to the Gizmondo tangent, that's like a really weirdly obscure system. It's like $300 you find on eBay.
Yeah.
My lovely friend G, who, for those, you know, G and his wife Jenny are amazing. They're here on Twitch. I'm actually gonna, you know, shout them out.
Oh hell yeah! We were just talking. I was just in a call with Jamie and G the other day. G's lovely.
But they actually hosted Xander's wedding at their place. And he voices Chris Mitchell in here. But G actually found the Gizmondo that's now mine. He just found it locally in Houston. And he was like, "It's $5. You want it? Oh, how much? Well, let me double my money." So I paid $5. You give me 10, and it's yours.
You made a little money off of it.
Well,
oh my god!
I mean, that's kind of thing. I'm like, oh, you can't just give it to me. That's rare. Fine, $10.
That's fine. That's fine. By the way, tasteful Razor scooter sound effect. I gotta say.
Oh, with the little bike bell.
Yeah, that was another bit that got me pretty good.
I don't understand why were Razor scooters like still a big thing by 01? I guess it's
probably not. Well, I mean, the show was written a little bit in advance, so maybe I don't know. Razor scooter fad. Oh, the first Razor scooter launched in 2000, so maybe it had a little bit of leftover traction.
Oh wow, I thought that was earlier than that.
According to Wikipedia. And then electric Razor scooters in 2003, which I didn't know were a thing. Apparently.
I only ever had like the base model, and even that I think, I want to say it was a hand-me-down for my sister.
Well, I know how we're riding to Ontario now.
Oh, by the way, this is the part of
There
Mecha Mewtwo learns the power of friendship, and then dies.
Yeah, it decides that in order to make its friends happy, it just has to destroy itself. Aficionado's Express doing the voice here. It's like, I cannot be in this world if it is to be a world of friends.
I have to go now. My planet needs me. Mecha Mewtwo was never seen again. Died on the way back to his home planet.
Oh my god.
Nintendo of America announced the first ever national theatrical tour.
Oh, there's the thing we were talking about, the Johto starters.
Yeah. There's all that. There's a Hopbip, there's a Chikorita, there's a Elekid. But in the show itself, it's like, it's just in that such a weird, awkward period. There's a little bit of Pokemon media in that whole period, like spin-offs and stuff, but it's always so like interesting to me, where it's like, okay, Gen 1 is clearly running its course, but like we gotta just hold a little longer. And that one, it's like, oh, Gen 2 is coming, but we already finished this Gen 1 thing. Damn it.
What kind of reminds me of that is like there's a similar thing between Gens 3 and 4, or I remember
Oh,
Pokemon
yeah.
XD, where it's like, yeah, this is a Gen 3 game. It works with all the Gen 3 Pokemon games. And also there's Bonsai and Munchlax in it.
Yeah, they're just chilling there. I think Pokemon Dash, I think, has some Gen 4 Pokemon in it, too. It's on the DS, but it's like a Gen 3 game, technically.
Also reminds me of like Pokemon Ranger,
Gotcha.
where Gen 3 game, but you get the Manaphy.
It's so... I love that shit. Tasteful transitions with the degrading VHS footage, gotta say.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. That was something I noticed. I was like, oh, and here's where the here's where this tape starts to degrade, and then it's like, oh no, we're going somewhere with this.
Hi again, Love. Updated the Nugs.
So being able to perform and communicate
50 nugs.
50 Wendy's Nuggets.
that holds like 10,000
Oh my god.
We didn't have 10,000.
Somebody in a group I was just in asked me if I wanted to join call, and I was like maybe later. I'm on stream with Jamie right now, and he goes, "Who is this Jamie you speak of?"
Who's this Jamie girl?
Sean, don't have time for us anymore. I see how it is. No. Why did I drop the Twitch link?
It's so crazy though, just like looking at everything that's just happened with this doc.
Oh my god. It's I've said this so many times, but it really is unlike anything else I've ever been involved in making. Because as you know, I take my videos very seriously, but they're like silly. I make silly jokes. This is so like such a formal, like, okay, no, we're laying this out. There's like a story to it. It's really interesting in that regard too, because it's also like we did a lot of scouring of old web pages and shit, but it's a rare opportunity where we get to talk to these people and let them basically do the storytelling, which, you know, is not a privilege you get with every subject.
It's kind of thing where after I did the original 6 AOF videos back in 2019, I was like, all right, I'm going to do some smaller stuff, but you know, it's going to be more formal. But like with this, even if I definitely after this project, like the next videos I make are going to be like smaller. Like the raw amount of quotes and archival footage and stuff. Like, I feel like this is a style. I don't think it'd be possible for me to go back at this point, you know?
Right, it's just such an evolution. Did I?
Like,
I locked my mom out.
Well, the thing is that I don't just feel like it's more compelling to watch, but even though it takes longer for me to make, I feel like it's more fun for me to watch back, because when like I'm just the only person like reading a VO out for a script, like I kind of get in a rut and I'm like, okay, this I've already said this 1,000 times before. Is this a good take? But with this, it's like I'm like sometimes like I'll rewatch the interviews. Like when I was editing, I was like, God, this is my third time watching. I forgot he said that.
Oh, they're just so like rich in information, and it's like it's interesting too, because it's like when you write something and then read it off, it's like, okay, yeah, I've heard this a million times. But when it's someone else like who is directly involved, it's like, no, it really is just like sitting back and learning. And I guess then the challenge becomes less like, okay, how am I? It's still about kind of constructing the narrative, the story of the video, but it's less about like, okay, and then what am I going to say, and more just like, I have the building blocks, but how am I going to arrange them in a way that makes sense and kind of goes over this in a succinct way.
My one big worry in editing is I got this new VHS effect I used a lot. And I almost worried I was overusing it, but the thing is with Pokemon Live, there's few, if any, high-quality photos or footage.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I guess instead of like trying my best to like use a sharpening tool and hope for the best, might as well just lean into the fact that it's old and kind of grainy.
Yeah, I mean, that was an issue I ran into even with like the thumbnail of my videos. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put like Pikachu or Ash on the right side of the thumbnail because that matches my format, and it's like, It was so hard to find any good quality pictures of either of them. The Pikachu I eventually settled on. I'm like, okay, now I gotta like up the saturation so he actually looks yellow and not like pale white. I gotta darken the eyes so they actually look like, you know, black like Pikachu eyes. I have to add a shadow on top of the like. It was so much like additional work just to get it to like look presentable because there's just so little. Like that was clearly like a VHS screenshot or something that I used. And it's interesting. I think the presentation of the doc. I mean, like I said with the one transition, it leans into that. We so much of this musical's history is preserved in like VHS recordings of the news or of a commercial, or like a crowd recording of the show. So it's like, okay, at some point you got to embrace what you have to work with, you know. I think there's a problem I ran into with one of my videos, the Mario War one, was like I was like trying to make it something it wasn't. I was like, oh god, and I need to have this and I need to have that, and eventually it's like when you have enough of a deficit of information or resources, it's like you got to just tell the story that's there. Luckily, with Pokemon Live, there's not a shortage of information, so that helps a lot.
No, and I know not to toot our own horn too much, but like we both made sure there is no shortage of info.
Oh no, we how long did it take us to come up with all the questions? Because I remember touching base about those a couple times.
I think over the span of 2 weeks, we met up like 3 or 4 times just to be like, all right, here's the questions. All right, now here's a narrowed down list of questions. Here's some ultimates. And then the funny thing is, like, even when you prepare like that for an interview, most like you have your initial questions go off of and ask. Like, obviously, it starts with like tell a little about yourself and whatnot, but then you want to dive into details. But what's the best type of interviews are the ones like these where after the first 2 or 3 questions, we could kind of just go off from there. It's like, oh, you mentioned getting injured. Like, what was that like? No, were there any other injuries on the tour? Were you still able to... Oh, Willbuts' dog looks and feels so professional. I love it. Thank you so much, dude. Like, that really means a ton.
Sup, Will? How's it going? That's my Butterino, who invented my channel's aesthetic. Edited several videos of mine. Thank you very much. Yeah, all the Monkey Ball stuff. I mean, Deluxe is half him, half me. First Monkey Ball video, Monkey Ball 2, all him. Yeah, look at Patrick Go. That's so good.
Oh, I just got a text from from some family, and ends up that a few different family members at this point now have not only watched the doc, but your video as well.
Oh, no kidding! Wow.
So it's crazy to think about. Just,
we get the coolest costume.
Yeah.
Dog's fantastic. Watch, enjoyed last. That's in the Kotaku feature. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Surreal. We're getting some We got a celebratory 50-piece nugget combo from Wendy's.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Jamie and Xander.
Oh my god.
Partying it up.
Look at this. That's just nuggets.
Jesus. Yeah, hopefully. I'll see. Depending on how late you go, Will, we might get a chance to chill tonight.
Oh, and of course, right. 2 small Frosties.
Oh, joy. Okay. Frosties are delicious. What was I just...
So John.
Yes.
Anything we didn't put in the doc that you wish we'd put in?
I'm trying to think. It's difficult because it feels like it's so comprehensive. There's always like things you learn later or you don't necessarily have a full grasp of. We talked in the 10 Things video a little bit about how the specific whereabouts of like the soundtrack album are kind of tricky. Like it's like, okay, Bulbapedia says that it started getting sold after the show. Numerous other sources, including news coverage of the time, Jesse, people who went to the show said it was sold as merch at the show. And so we're like, okay, that's probably it. It was probably just sold there and then never got a wider release. I get a comment on that video that says, hey, I went to the Pokemon Center in New York back in the day. It was there. It was sold there as merch. I remember seeing it. So now I'm like, okay, there's no way I possibly could have known that. But it's like, oh, okay, I'm pinning that comment. That deserves to be known. We can't like go back, but just stuff like that. It's just so like. I'm trying to think. I
You're
found
always learning something new.
Like being like,
exactly. I did find as I was editing my companion video, I found a news report that I talked to you about a little bit, where it's just like this newscaster kind of doing the news, and he's hanging out with the cast of Pokemon Live the whole time, and this newscaster is just batshit. So it's just like so weird. Like he throws a Pokeball at Pikachu's head while Jennifer is in there, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Then he just starts screaming at random points. He knows some Pokemon terminology, but not other Pokemon terminology. He insinuates that Professor Oak does drugs in his lab. It's just like it's very surreal to imagine seeing that at like 9 a.m.
You know, I know that has really big energy of like, God, it kind of reminds me of, I saw this thing like years back. No, you know what it has? It has big Mike Matei and Inspector Gadget doing Minecraft energy.
Yeah, where it's like, it's almost like this like nice like kids character, but it's like, oh, it's like a little unhinged. You don't know where this is going.
Yeah, it's like
I want to get off this ride.
Scared.
Yeah, it's like Willy Wonka going from just joyful to like ride into hell territory at a moment's notice.
You know, so you had to like take it in stride. You know, you had to like just focus on doing the best show you could do, regardless of what was happening around you. Because that's what made it.
So this is officially a mukbang stream now.
You know,
Oh no! You can add the tag. We'll probably get a couple viewers that don't normally watch our streams that way.
There's to wear on you, and you sort of have to focus on.
Oh goodness!
I mean, here, yeah, I'll add the tag.
Oh, son of a bitch!
No, or I guess they're just a food tag. No, but there's an American football. I have to get sprayed with a spray bottle.
Oh my god!
Alright, wow, this has been a long time coming.
And then I did leave before.
Get sprayed.
Back to school, and Adam
It hasn't been spraying in a while.
It was like 3 months or so.
Gotta repair the spray bottle.
And it's just because it's like
and then they were gonna take it to Dubai, but they were gonna cut it.
Been a hot minute. That's true.
I was anxious. To
I don't even know if I've gotten
the spray bottle don't work anymore.
Not to say that I was Pokemon.
Oh damn!
Out, but I was ready to get back.
Oh yeah, it just kind of dribbles. Well, you know what? We tried.
Damn.
I'd like to take a moment of silence. I see some hashtag grip spray bottle in the chat.
If I had a spray bottle, I'd do it in your place, but alas, I have no such thing. Oh, there's Jeff Compass in the voice. That's an interesting. Oh hell yeah! I was gonna say Oh, I was gonna say maybe on the earlier question, talking more about the international shows, but the problem is I don't know what else there is to be said. Like that's something you really got to see for yourself.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any actual footage somewhere floating around, like the Belgian or Portuguese show.
I'd love to just see it and compare, because the shows handle costumes so differently, and like I think it was the Mexico one where the costumes are just so goddamn shiny. And it's very funny.
And the Mexican show is so weird because they go from these Broadway grade outfits from the American tour, because I mean it was literally designed as a Broadway show with, you know, by the people who, a lot of the props were handled by the people who did the props for The Lion King on Broadway.
Yeah.
To the Mexican show where it looks like they're wearing like latex, and then they're wearing like these character masks.
It's really weird looking.
The costumes from the Mexican version of the show actually terrify me.
I think
They,
invaluable.
I just don't even know what to think. I just imagine what it must be like up there in like an Ash Ketchum mask with your like rubbery like latex freaking shiny pants that are supposed to be jeans. Like, it's like, what do you even do with that?
Well, I'm sure it caused several confusing feelings to several kids out there.
Oh no. As if the big old Pokemon costumes didn't cause enough. Oh no no no. How much do we I might have missed Jesse talking about it earlier. But how much do we talk about Adam in here? Because the way Jesse describes it in the interview is he injured his leg at Radio City, and they brought in another actor named Adam to do some of the parts he couldn't do, and eventually Adam just like stayed on the tour, and they started like splitting shit.
So what happened is that Jesse like split his knee tumbling at Radio City.
Yeah.
And then he apparently played through an entire another show before going, okay, I should see a doctor.
Yeah, and the doctor was like, "Stop! What are you doing? Don't."
So what happened at that point is they brought Adam on. Adam had already been just a regular part of the male ensemble.
Yeah.
And they started splitting the roles depending on how much pain Jesse was in. And from my understanding of everything, it eventually got to a point where, you know, Jesse healed up and took over the role permanently. But the thing is, he'd already taken off a semester from school just to do the show, right?
Yeah.
The end of December 2000 comes up and he's like, hey, I'm going to have to leave the tour. Sorry about the shows in January, but I have a degree I gotta get. Which I think, you know, that's totally fair, especially seeing as Jesse's gone on to have an incredibly successful career of his own.
Right.
And at that point, all of Jesse's roles in the January shows, which means by extension, yes, the 2001 show in Chicago that they recorded for the VHS release, doesn't feature Jesse in the role as Joe the Deaf Trainer, but instead Adam.
You know, that would actually line up because Jesse does not at any point mention that filming or the home video release, but Patrick does. Patrick brings it up. So that makes sense.
Financially as they
I feel like such an expert here, sitting in my gamer office eating chicken nuggets.
Jamie, can you answer this question about Pokemon Live? And you lean back and you grab a nuggie and you're like, ah, yes. Well, actually, you see, it's very complicated.
Actually, they show Bulbasaur and Venusaur, but where's Ivysaur?
Hashtag where's Ivysaur?
Actually, the statue in Chicago is called Cloudgate, not the Bean.
Sorry. This is technically not the first return from Mewtwo. Many of you were
I hate when that happens when I talk to a Mewtwo costume and it's unresponsive.
Dennis Kenny asks Mewtwo a question. Mewtwo responds, I have no mouth, but I must scream.
Dennis is also excellent in Pokemon Live, I have to say.
I would have loved it. Especially because Dennis actually works as a fashion designer now, yeah?
Yeah, he, I think I talk about it in the video a little bit. He works, he's worked with, like, Debbie Gibson and, like, Good Morning America. You know, stuff like that. He seems fairly successful. I think Jesse said he worked with him somewhat recently, at the time we talked to him. Yeah, I was gonna say too, would be good on me to start sending links out again because there were a couple people we reached out to who were in the musical who did respond, but declined to be interviewed. And I believe one of them actually said, like, yeah, but could you send it to me when it's done? So I'm like, I should probably do that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a question. What's your thoughts on the Dubai show?
Yeah, that one's interesting because it's like, you can see how much lower budget it is. It's very clear. Maybe that could be because the venue is smaller, but it's just like, I don't know. It's not like it's sort of an in-between of the Mexico and US show where it's like, this isn't maybe not as quite as impressive as the US show. But it's also not like whatever the hell this is.
And the weird thing is the Mexican show is the full show. The Dubai show cuts out a third of the songs, and Delia and Professor Oak are just completely absent from it. And the issue is Michael Slade's entire idea, the writer's original vision for the whole show. Like Michael Slade's original idea was like, I want the show to have an emotional plot as well, so that the parents won't totally hate it.
Right.
They just completely removed that to take the runtime down for the Dubai version.
Ain't that just the way it goes?
Also, don't mind me turning around every so often to feed the dogs some French fries.
Oh my goodness.
She is my spoiled baby. Thank you.
Absolute animal behavior.
Aside from 2 weekends worth of shows in Belgium and Portugal in 2002, that was it for Pokemon Live.
What an entire trip this whole thing has been.
It's so weird to actually be watching it and it's done and other people have seen it. Like what? How did that happen? Totally Pokemon's a banger, by the way. I used to rent that CD from the library all the time when I was a kid. When I discovered that some of its songs originated in Pokemon Live, I was definitely intrigued. That little webpage.
The little Flash is no longer supported.
Oh, what a class.
The funny thing is I only ever had one Pokemon CD as a kid, and it was To Be a Master.
Oh yeah, I think that might have been on my computer. I think my brother might have downloaded that or something. I never owned any of them until recently. I've obtained I got a copy of the first movie soundtrack. I think I might have it To Be a Master somewhere. I don't know how I would have gotten it though.
Actually, no, I take that back. I did get one other Pokemon CD, but it's a weird story. I don't tell the story much because it's
As far as North
it makes me sound weird and bougie, but my dad worked for the airlines in marketing when I was a kid.
Oh, right.
For part of that, we got to live for a few months in Singapore at a few different times. And Singapore was really cool, but I went to this market there once. And there's this, an outdoor market, and it's a really nice part of town. The entirety of Singapore is, really nice, but there's particularly, upscale seeming area, right?
Right.
And there's a stand there just selling Pokemon merch. And I got the CD, and I don't know if it's still in storage at my parents' place somewhere. I probably have to find it. But it just had a Jigglypuff on the case.
Not with legs.
A Munchlax on the back, I think it was. And then the CD was just a Jigglypuff, and there was no track listing. I tried it inside a computer, and I tried it inside a CD player, and there was just nothing. That's very mysterious. Now I'm And I
have to get
this
that
was
up.
just something I'd dreamed up at some point. I mean, I got really sick on the final trip we took to Singapore, right? Until I found some photos backed up on not an SD card, but an XD card.
Oh, I only ever had
an
RAR
actual
cards.
picture of me and my mom at this market in Singapore with me holding that fucking CD.
They were like, we're gonna slap a Pokemon on it, and some fucking kid is gonna buy it.
That's some dumb American's gonna buy this.
And it's going to be a
20
paper.
bucks on it.
Oh my god. And it's not going to have anything on it.
Besides Andrew Rannells, who is openly gay, apparently detesting the character
Oh, it's
James
encrypted.
for seeing him as a gay stereotype.
Oh no.
I mean, James literally makes
Decrypting this was a mistake.
at one point during an early show.
Don't ask, don't tell.
The secret code of Pokemon Live where Ash actually fucks the rat.
Oh no.
As the Michael Slade's original draft, yeah. It was the first run. And then the Pokemon Company was like, we're saving that for the finale of the show. We the romance between Ash and Pikachu is more of an implied thing.
And then before the curtain calls, Ash grabs Pikachu and holds him tightly, and they embrace a loving kiss.
Oh my god. Someone's got to just reanimate the Mario Sonic kiss gif, but it's Ash and Pikachu.
It was actually the original ending for Pokemon Forever, where he looks at Pikachu, says, eyes and says, Pikachu, I want you to be my Pokemon forever.
It's too expensive to store props that will never be used again.
Well, it's been a good call, everyone. Every morning I wake up and I thank Pikachu for the life that I've been given.
Okay, fun fact, this is the one person not in the cast. I think we both tried to reach out to Chad Tronic for an interview.
I'm trying to remember if I sent Chad anything. I don't think I did.
I would love a chance just to pick his mind on Pokemon Live, though, because, like...
Oh, it'd be great to talk.
The reason I found out this existed, even before Jigglypuff with legs, is I remember catching a video of his a while back, and I was like, that's neat.
Oh, I think he's done more. I knew about it from like a Tama Hero video from like years back, but I barely knew anything about it. I think Chad has done maybe more preservation work for Pokemon Live than anyone up to this point. And certainly he's raised awareness of it more than anyone. His videos on the subject, very, very... I think we literally looked at the Google Trends, and as soon as he uploads a Pokemon Live video, all of a sudden people are just searching for Pokemon Live up a storm.
The theater was in a state of decay. There were dozens
really
of
cool.
props, costumes, and other items from Pokemon Live,
Before
which had
our
been sitting
doc
inside
drop,
since it was shut down.
most conversation of Pokemon Live on Twitter or just people finding bits or just watching the show and posting their thoughts along with Chad Tronic's Find Pokemon Live hashtag.
Yeah, exactly.
Toronto was the only
It's
original
just
Canadian stop, and that was early
I mean that that didn't get the home video version found, but I believe the versions of the show that we do have complete recordings of, along with all the stuff Chris Mitchell uploaded. I think that came after Chad started talking about it.
Yeah. Also,
it was even more mysterious back then.
You saw the one clip of the only footage we have of the Portuguese show, which is from a commercial. And I only use that 2-second clip because the entire commercial, for some reason, is only running at like 10 frames a second.
Oh, what the hell?
And it like gives me a headache to watch.
That's so
or at least
weird.
to cut on YouTube.
I was one of the electricians on
Jesus.
the tour and recognized several of these props.
Was that Jazzy?
Pikachu
Yeah,
had
that's
stirrups
Jazzy.
attached to them because
Hell
the
yeah.
show sequence in the show had actors dancing with several Pikachu and stirrups let the actors carry the weight of the prop on their forearms.
That's a nice neighbor girl.
That was the fun part, is because Jamie picked out half of the people to do guest voices, and I picked out the other half. So like the ones I picked out, I'm like, oh yeah, I've worked with that person, or I'm friends with that person. But the ones Jamie picked out, some of them I know and some of them I don't. So I was just sitting there, just like chilling, watching the doc, and I'm like, oh shit, is that the Golden Bolt? And it was.
Oh shit, is that G to the next level?
Yeah, I was G took me a minute. G was like halfway through like a Chris Mitchell quote, and I was like, wait a minute here, that's...
It was a huge TV show.
Me, like, when Jonii was doing her stuff.
Oh, that
Oh,
reminds me,
yeah.
before we go on, the most recently discovered piece of Pokemon Live footage I put on is some channel with like no subscribers and 10 views uploaded a collection of WB bumpers for Pokemon Live, and that's
Yeah,
where this is from.
was that the Nobody Asked channel?
I
think
think it
that's
was
what
a
it's
different
called.
one, but maybe it was someone who
Oh.
just re-uploaded from that.
Okay, I was gonna bring up, yeah, because that channel I think has some of this sort of stuff, but that channel also has the news coverage I was talking about earlier, the uncut versions of the interviews, which I saw that you used.
Even the
Just
commercials from the Hummingbird Center in Toronto where they show the Lapras that was cut from the show.
Yeah, it's like, literally, I just found that channel while I was editing, and I was like, oh my god, there's so much valuable information here. Like, it's just,
Absolutely.
I don't know how they got all that shit, but it's all their channel is Pokemon Live stuff, and it's all great.
Like it ever happen again on stage?
It was a video game first,
Just
but
the uncut
a
interview
huge
footage
TV
really was, I think, the
So,
big
like,
thing for me. And I'm like, this needs to be
it didn't have
doubly
that success,
preserved.
there's no way it would-
Oh, absolutely.
would have been
Because like the making of Doc has some great clips with a full clip of just Lauren and Andrew,
big and a
like
part
as
of,
Jesse
like,
and
also Pokemon
James
was,
just
like,
talking
a
about
huge
stuff
part
is
of the
just
American
so
zeitgeist for, like, 5 years,
wholesome.
you know? It was like
It's,
the first of so
I don't know,
many
it's
big
definitely like,
crossovers, all these games, the car, like,
seeing
it became
seeing Andrew and Lauren, at least seeing that they have
cultural than
the chemistry that they have, it's like, okay, well, at least Andrew had one friend when he was working on the show.
I'm sure it's somewhere.
Oh,
he had,
that
he had
is
maybe
one thing,
one
and we mentioned this in the
picture.
speedrun episode that's going out tomorrow morning. The
holding
last
on to it.
thing to cap off this week of Pokemon Live stuff, but eventually, who knows what twists are.
I
But
think it would be a cool thing to be able to like. See,
Chris Mitchell in one of his comments said, "Everyone was a joy to work with, except for one person, and they were a bitch."
Netflix.
Yeah, so we're over here. We're like, who's the bitch? Like,
And someone even asked, Andrew Randall said he didn't like being on shows. He was like, no, Andrew Randall enjoyed the show. He certainly enjoyed the paycheck.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, if it's not Andrew, then like,
who?
it just makes me wonder. Like, I'm such a gossipy bitch that I want to know who the gossipy bitch working on Pokemon
I
Live
just
was.
realized they gave us an entire bag with nothing but like a selection of sauce.
It was too expensive.
It was like, pick
Uh,
12 sauces, so I picked 12 sauces, but there are so many more than 12.
That's the companion bag.
It was a
This is
very
only
expensive
10
tour to run,
bucks.
and we were hemorrhaging money. The only
What
logical
I
thing to
feel?
do was to scale the
No,
tour
it's
down,
on
which
the
is not
Wendy's
possible,
menu.
or cancel the tour.
This is
Producers
fucking
decided to cut their
American
losses.
food is wild, y'all, and this is why
really is.
instead of going to Nova Scotia, we decided to settle in Ohio.
It was like $13 for 2 junior frosties, a small fry, and like 50 nog.
The value. That's the magic of fast food.
What's the out of the nugget bag? No, I want nugget.
No nugget for the Paisley.
Rip.
Nugget for the Xander.
Alright, would you like to hold the nugget?
Xander and Jamie get nugget.
Hold our 40 remaining children. Or 30.
Did you just call the nuggets your children?
Yes.
Like that episode of You From.
Oh, where they have
Alright.
the crispy snacks that turn out to be like Omicronian babies.
Oh no. Oh god.
Poplars.
Poplars.
Also, I put this at the end here because I'm like, I need something to actually date the stock because I don't want random comments down the line where it's like, did you know about XYZ thing that was revealed in 2023 about Pokemon Live? And I'm
Yeah.
and an easy way to just be like, no.
It's like, why didn't you talk about the man who like died on the set of Pokemon Live? And it's like, well, that wasn't known information in the before time. We learned that in 2025. Yeah, exactly. It's like, why didn't you talk about Dominic opening up about the time that he shit his pants on stage? And it's like, well,
Why
there's
didn't
only
you
so
write
many
about the
reasons.
time someone made a documentary about Pokemon Live and it got featured on Kotaku?
Yeah, what the hell?
So that's the doc.
Indeed, it is.
Get like a look at what you look at.
Let's see what the live counter. Oh god, it's already. Yeah, it's. Let me. I'm not going to put this on screen. I'm going to put this back to like
Yeah.
the just.
Donkey.
Oh, it popped me up. So.
Yeah. That's Paisley. That's her doggo.
Paisley Doggo.
She's a good doggo. Yeah. Let's see what YouTube Studio says. Oh wow, it's at nearly 3,000 views.
Son of a.
According to
Positive
that. So
thing. I was gonna say son of a bitch, but no, it's a good time. Son of the bitch who worked on Pokemon Live. Haha.
Like,
I don't know if they have a son. I don't know who they are. That's the
can we
good
get
vibe.
hashtag We Love Leglypuff trending on Twitter?
The things we do. You see, we get a smidgen of clout, and then we're like, all right, now
All
we
right,
raise
y'all.
Leglypuff's profile even more.
And suddenly people are paying attention. Quick, be cringe and scare them away, Jamie. Let me tell you, I didn't know in my 15 minutes of not even fame, like moderate, a few people know me would come. So I gotta get real cursed with it.
That's what I should have done when the Luigi video came out. I should have seized the opportunity and minted Leglypuff NFTs.
Alright, y'all, we've seen Mario's nipples, now let's see Luigi's.
Hashtag Nintendo show Luigi's nipples challenge. Hashtag difficulty impossible.
When am I going to get to know if Mario and Luigi's last names in the game is actually Mario?
What if their last name is Luigi? What if it's all been a lie?
Nope. Going up, Paisley?
She wants up, but you turned around and like.
Oh. What a doc. So
Indeed.
It's 11:30 at night. Do we have anything else to add?
I think we've just about said all that we gotta say.
Oh, we have Doggo. This is Miss Paisley.
Doggo. The Doggo helped make the doc. Not like physically, but just in terms of being there.
Actually, like legit having Paisley, like the past few months has really actually, I felt like been like a very nice boost to my mental health.
That's good to hear.
To such a point where I actually credit her as a special thanks in the documentary.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
She has an Instagram handle because we are those kinds of white people.
That's not, if I'm ranking the different types of white people to be, opens an Instagram for your pets is like, that's definitely not in the lower half.
Oh, that's fair. So to end off, if you've been here watching this with us, definitely go check out Jonii's video.
I did a thing.
I'm grabbing the link right here because I'm a professional.
This is how streams are done, yeah. But yeah, Jamie is in that video I did. If you want to hear more of our voices, learn a little bit of extra trivia that we don't go fully into in the doc, and hear us just marvel at it. Just get a little bit of the holy shit that we maybe don't express in the doc.
Here's the link.
There you go.
Speaking of which, your video is sitting at a few hundred more views already than it was before the stream started.
Oh, we're gaming now.
We're real gamers now, y'all.
Number 1 victory royale. Oh, I can't sing that one. I got copyright sucked for that one.
So on that note, you ready to end off and get some sleep?
Yeah, we're gonna call it. It sounds like. Thank you guys for sticking around.
Yeah, you want to plug anything else on your end?
Hi, I'm Jonii. As Jamie mentioned, I made a video about Pokemon Live 2. She's in it. You know what? I don't plug that often, but I just got reminded of because Will was here. I'm in a band called the CRTs, and that's another project we worked on for like a million, trillion, billion years. We put out our album this year, so if you want to listen to some good old music, the CRTs. It stands for the cathode ray tubes, not the critical race theories.
Also, I just realized my Streamlabs thing. We've gotten a few things to that, or to the donation thing, but it has not budged at all. So thank you all who have done that during the stream.
Oopsie. Ain't that just the way it goes?
But yeah, do you have like a band page?
Yeah, I believe we're on Bandcamp, thecrts.bandcamp.com. Otherwise, our album can be found. It's called We Had a Week, by the way, because we were gonna record it in a week, and then we instead recorded it over the course of like 5 years. But yeah, you can find it on Spotify or iTunes or just really anywhere where music is. If you go and listen to the songs on YouTube, each song has its own different thing where visual, where one of them is playing on the PS1 CD player, one of them is playing on an iPod. I thought that was a nice little touch. So you want to go appreciate my friend Will's hard work on that, go check him out on YouTube or elsewhere if you just want to hear the sweet, sweet pop punk tones.
And if you're watching this live, I post the link a few times in the chat. And if you're watching this on the second channel, then you can see the link on screen right now over here.
Yeah. Typey, get typing.
So on that note, I've been Jamie. Thank you tons for this stream. I'm going to go eat some chicken nuggets and get ready for a meeting about the start of my next project.
Hell yeah.
Fingers crossed. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So, thank you all very much for watching. Stay classy, and I'll see you next time.
Next time.
Good night, y'all.
Woo!